In the opening scene, Mary crosses the street toward the bookstore where she works. She picks up a bundle of newspapers from the doorpost and takes it inside. While doing her morning rounds, she sees Sam, who is a regular client at their bookstore, and they exchange pleasantries. Judging from the book Sam is holding, she observes that he might be thinking of a trip to Bali, so she advises him to visit the place during spring before the high season starts, as it is less crowded and the weather is great. Sam is enthusiastic. Listening to Mary speak like she has visited the place before, his excitement tones down on realizing that Mary hasn't visited, but she has read the book cover to cover. Before leaving, Mary informs him to come meet her in case she needs anything or recommendations. Mary spots her brother Tyler walking into the bookstore. Tyler is a student in the business school, and his sister prefers him taking his studies seriously instead of dribbling hoops in a basketball field. He looks through their records and realizes that their account is reading red. He suggests they speak to their parents about it, but she is insistent on keeping it to themselves. Their parents are retired, therefore the responsibility of the store is on them. Mary believes they will need to come up with a way to handle it instead of involving their parents. The siblings get into an argument over facts, as she is not willing to throw away the traditions that have kept the bookstore running for almost 40 years. Tyler tries to prove to her beyond reasonable doubt that times have changed, hence, their strategies must change if they instead want to run the store without having a deficit. Tyler's attention is drawn to the newspaper on the table. He picks it up to read the update on the hockey player on it. Mary doesn't like the way everything about sports gets his attention. She feels it is a distraction for him, so she decides to chase him off instead. In the next scene, Adam, a hockey player, spends the night at his brother's house, and now his little nephew wakes him up to play monster with him. Adam gets up and chases Graham all around the living area pretending to be a monster, while the 4-year-old runs up and down laughing in excitement and trying not to get caught. Graham's parents soon come downstairs interrupting their game, and Adam's brother reprimands him for playing like a little child. He informs Adam that Erica, his ex, has been calling him nonstop, which means she must have suspected that he spent the night elsewhere. Chuck is concerned about his brother's failing career after getting kicked off the Texas team, Seattle, and New Jersey. He convinced Erica to move to the suburbs, saying that his brother had changed. Adam doesn't like the direction of the conversation, so he gets ready and steps out of the house to get some air and grab a coffee. Adam walks around looking for a place where he can get coffee until he spots Mary's bookstore. He walks in believing that all bookstores sell coffee, but Mary informs him that they don't sell coffee. He assumes that what she means is that he's got to buy a book first, so he picks up a random book and pays for it, then requests to have his coffee. She takes him back to the beginning of the conversation where she informs him that they don't sell coffee. He feels frustrated and requests to have his money back. Unfortunately, the bookstore doesn't accept returns. She reminds him that he bought the book less than 30 seconds ago, and she can't make an exception for anyone when it comes to the store policy. Erica calls Adam's phone, and he is pissed, so he drops the phone, informing Mary that he will go get a real bookstore that sells coffee. She calls him back to take the book he just purchased. Then, she concludes that he is arrogant, while Adam believes she's just being unnecessarily uptight. Later in the evening, Tyler and Mary host a book chat at the store with a couple of people in attendance. Mary enjoys the discussion about one of her favorite books and watches as Tyler dissects the story to the hearing of the others. At the end of the book chat, she picks up her coat and heads home. The next day, Mary meets with Janet, her ex-classmate who now runs a PR firm. She thanks her for agreeing to come help her out, but Janet feels she is indebted to Mary for helping her through her finals in college. The ladies catch up on a few places Mary had always wanted to visit before she had to run her parents' bookstore. Janet shares some results from the research she made about Same Page, which is Mary's bookstore. She suggests that Mary create a better way to connect to the people by sponsoring her neighborhood kids hockey league or doing more advertising at nearby businesses. Janet emphasizes the need to do a big party for the bookstore's 40th anniversary and then take advantage of that to get the whole neighborhood to come out and celebrate with them. Mary loves all her PR ideas, but the problem now is that she needs to have the money that she can put into making all these ideas a reality. Unfortunately, her business is going through a pretty slow time and things are quite tight. Janet reminds her that people don't come to seek her when their businesses are flourishing, but only when they are broken. She urges Mary to believe in her ability to fix things. Even though she doesn't know how to go about it, she is convinced that the right opportunities will present themselves, and when it does, they have to be ready. Adam visits Erica's office after refusing to pick up her calls. She is pissed and informs Adam that he will be cut out of 10 games. He pleads with her and reminds her that she could talk to her father, who is the owner of the team, and just maybe he could give him another chance. With Erica's reluctance towards helping him out, Adam thinks it's because she has some lingering feelings after their breakup. She angrily reminds him that she broke up with him 5 years ago and not the other way around. She doesn't like being a tense person, but he seems to be bringing out that part of her. She decides to add 1 game to his suspension for everything he says that makes her mad, which means in about 10 minutes, he is going to be out for the rest of the season. Adam realizes that his gimmicks might get him into more trouble, so he sighs and seeks her advice on how to remedy the situation. Erica hands him a card and informs him to call their PR person, and he will be working with her to fix his image while he's on suspension. She advises him to do whatever Janet says and not argue with her, or think he has better ideas than her. G completely gets the message she's trying to pass, and since he has no other option, he agrees to take the chance, but not without pissing her off. He reminds her that he broke up with her, causing Erica to add one more game to his suspension, making it 12 games which he won't participate in. At the home of Mary's parents, they prepare to have dinner, and their parents are having a conversation about taking a vacation to the Caribbean. Their mother tries to convince her husband, Paul, that they can engage in adventurous trips and vacations since they are retired and their children are capable of taking care of the bookstore. Tyler and Mary look at each other as the conversation between their parents might be heading in their direction soon. Paul inquires about Tyler's studies, and he pretends to have an issue with a particular balance sheet that keeps coming up red. Mary knows he's talking about the bookstore's balance sheet. She cuts in saying that Tyler has sought the services of an advisor, and he doesn't know what to do yet. Paul further advises his son to try out all he's got even if he has to go outside of his comfort zone. Their mother brings back the topic of the Caribbean cruise since they are now talking about moving out of one's comfort zone. Her tone causes the rest of the family to laugh at her sense of humor. Adam pays a visit to Janet's office, and after looking through his file, she confesses that his record is quite bad. However, they need to find a way to make people like him, but Adam thinks people already like him. However, Janet already had her team do a flash poll after Erica called her last night, and the results she got weren't good. But the good news is that people love the idea of a second chance for him, and they are open to giving him one. In a bid to save his reputation, Janet suggests pairing him with a respected member of the society who can balance things up and then involve him in some local activities and maybe do some volunteer work. She thinks it will be a good PR for both him and whoever she pairs him up with. Adam sighs and asks if she already has someone in mind. Fortunately, Mary's call comes in, and after the call, Janet smiles like a genius. She stands up to usher the person inside. Upon opening the door, Mary walks in apologizing for coming unannounced, but she also wants to inform Janet that she's willing to do whatever to make the whole thing work. Janet smiles and ushers her in. She informs the clients in her office that she will be pairing them up with each other. Adam gets up to see his partner, but is surprised to see Mary. The duo recognizes each other, and instantly they refuse to work with each other. Janet goes through quite a tough time convincing both of them why they need to work together if they desire to save what matters most to them. She puts in all her effort until she is finally able to convince the duo to work together. Mary and Adam feel uncomfortable with Janet's ideas, but they have something more important to lose if they don't. Left with no choice, they decide to take the chance and set their differences aside for a while. The following day, Mary and her brother meet up with Janet and Adam at their bookstore. Tyler introduces himself to Adam, revealing that he is a huge fan of his. Adam can see that from the shirt Tyler is putting on. Janet informs them that everything has to be put in place from now till 4 weeks, which is why they are gathered. She implores everyone to brainstorm on big showcase ideas. Adam and Mary get into a banter as they bring up ideas that will spite each other. Tyler and Janet quietly watch them argue back and forth without any interference. After their meeting, Adam goes to see Erica at her office, and Chuck happens to be around. Adam complains about Mary, whom he believes to think too highly of herself and won't listen to others because she thinks she knows better than anyone else. He is not interested in working with her anymore. Erica and Chuck are enjoying Adam's despair as they make jest of him being a great match for Mary since they have the same attributes. Adam realizes that they are simply making fun of him and they are not ready to hear him out, so he angrily leaves Erica's office. Tyler assists in putting up posters for the junior hockey tournament. He believes this is the kind of PR they need, but Mary thinks otherwise. She reminds him that they can still back out, but Tyler tells her that it's too late already, and if she takes down the posters, he's only going to put them back on the walls. Later, Mary meets with the kids at their training ground, but Adam is nowhere to be found. One of the little boys named Noah, who admires Adam a lot, comes to meet her, requesting to know when their coach will be coming. Fortunately, the door opens to reveal Adam, and he apologizes for coming late. Noah is excited to see him. He loves the fact that Adam makes trouble with the refs, but Mary rebukes him, stating that trouble is not cool. Adam suggests that they call a truce until after practice so the kids can have a great time. They soon start training with Adam when Mary comes to interfere. He makes his point clear, causing Mary to back off since she knows nothing about hockey. After the training, she goes back into the bookstore and decides to do some reading about the game, just so she will be well prepared to confront Adam. The day for the tournament arrives, and Mary does not hesitate to show off that she has done some readings. She briefs the kids about the history of hockey. Adam is almost pissed at the way she is going on about the few things she picked up from the book. He cheers the kids on so they can get onto the pitch for their game. In the middle of the game, the referee penalizes one of Adam's students, which prompts him to react. The media instantly turns towards him, while Mary is pleading with him to keep it down. Next thing, there are various headlines in the newspaper highlighting Adam's behavior. Janet isn't expecting to get such headlines after putting in much work. The duo realizes that they need more positive updates about them and not negative remarks, so they decide to call a real truce this time. Janet reminds them that they have 3 weeks until the winter anniversary party, and they need to get working on how to make it a successful one. Plus, they are going to do a trial run at a book fair this week. On getting home, Mary seeks her mom's advice. She wonders how her parents were able to run the bookstore for years without any problems, while she has only been doing that for barely a year, and she seems to have truckloads of problems. The next day, Mary arrives at the bookstore and finds a truck right in front of her store that has her sign on it. She questions the guy in it, who informs her that Adam already paid for his services, and about 3 people are waiting to get a book and their free coffee. Later in the day, Mary thanked Adam for helping her get ready for the book fair and the coffee truck because she received quite an amount of people coming to purchase a book today. The both of them get talking, and she realizes that he reads things other than Sports Illustrated. She inquires about his favorite book or any which must have made certain impressions on him at some point. He briefs her about the adventures of Tom Sawyer, which he read some time back. Mary listens to him with a smile on her face because that book is also one of her many favorites. She hurriedly gets him a book and then invites him to join their book chat sometime. The day for the book fair arrives, and Adam puts some effort into signing some autographs for some fans. Janet calls him as it is time for photographs, and when he finally comes down, he gets into an argument with Mary, causing Janet to feel frustrated. At Janet's office, Mary paces up and down the room, trying to control her rage while apologizing for losing it earlier. She blames Adam for pushing her buttons and getting her mad. She pleads with Janet to allow her to see the headlines making waves. Janet, who is getting tired of the duo, reveals that she set up some ground rules for the both of them. The next day, Janet preps them up for the book donation at a library. She speaks with them in low tunes as she makes them repeat the do's and don'ts of what they are to accomplish. They soon start the day's exercise, and things seem to be going pretty well as the media crew takes several photos of them. After the exercise, a newspaper publication makes headlines instigating that Adam and Mary might be an item. Mary gets bothered about the news, but Tyler and Janet calm her down. They point her attention to the number of clients they've been getting lately, which is all thanks to the PR they've been doing. Janet leaves the siblings, and Tyler starts giving Mary some exaggerated praises. She knows he wants something, so she urges him to spill already, and he requests to record their book chat tonight as a podcast. She feels uncomfortable with the idea because she gets embarrassed talking to a lot of people, but he assures her that he will edit the parts where she gets embarrassed. Besides, it's not like she will be seeing them, so it's worth the try. Meanwhile, Chuck comes to see Erica at her office. She assumes Adam must have put up one stunt or the other again, but he shows her the trending headline about the latest event, and he questions if it bothers her. The tone that Erica uses to remind Chuck that she broke up with his brother sends him out of her office. For a second, she wonders why she will be bothered about Adam getting involved with someone else. It sounds ridiculous to her. It's evening time, and it is time for their book chat session. Tyler welcomes everyone, and Elle passes the floor to his sister to take it up from there. Adam opens the door and walks in, apologizing for coming late. After settling in, he requests to share some notable points he got from the book, which he read, and Mary decides to pick on him as she attacks every comment he makes. The duo begins bickering about their perspective on what they have read until the end of the session. At the end of the book chat session, Adam stays behind to help them clean up. Tyler confesses that he had a great time, and the both of them seem to be perfect together. He invites Adam to come with them to their parents' house for dinner. Mary didn't like the sound of that, but he went on and on talking about his dad, who is a huge hockey fan. They all arrive there, and Tyler implores his parents to listen to their podcast, which was made lively by Adam and Mary. Their mother commends Tyler's effort for trying out something new at the bookstore. Mary interferes to share her idea about adding a refreshment station where readers can get water or coffee. Everyone compliments her wonderful idea, and she makes the mistake of telling them that she is open to new ideas, so she doesn't see why they are surprised. Her parents, including Tyler and Adam, try to repress their laughter after hearing her say that. They continue enjoying their dinner, and Mary's mother asks about Adam's family dinner. Mary is surprised to hear that he grew up in the foster care system and didn't know much about family dinners. He further shares a few details about his time growing up with different families. After the dinner, Adam joins Tyler in cleaning up, and the both of them start talking about Mary. The following day, Mary hangs out with Janet, and she shares how Tyler invited Adam home for dinner. She suggests that she's starting to like Adam, judging from the way they have been spending quite a lot of time together lately. Mary starts defending herself, but thinks that they will look great together. Also, she is thinking of something that will be great for their PR. Mary reminds Janet that the whole setup is about the store for her, so she doesn't drift off the original course. Plus, she isn't even getting much sales yet. Janet advises her friend to trust her and her process because everything will work out well. All she needs is time. Adam spends the day with the kids in their training area. He coaches them quite well, and his brother comes to help him out for the day. After the training session, Chuck requests Adam's help in training his students the next day. He further asks about Mary. He feels Adam likes Mary because she's the exact kind of woman he needs, someone who can stand up to him. However, Adam reveals that even if he likes her, Mary has made it clear that she doesn't want anything to do with him or his world. In the next scene, Adam and Mary meet up at Chuck's place to watch a hockey game with Chuck's wife Sarah and Graham. After a short while, Sarah excuses herself to go help Graham wash up. She leaves Adam and Mary chatting while watching the game. Mary reveals that she doesn't know much about the rules of the game, no matter how much she tries. He suggests she attempt playing the game as it may help her understand better, instead of reading about it from books. Later, the duo hangs out at the hockey pitch. Adam kits her up, but Mary is finding it hard to even move for fear of falling off. He guides her through the positioning and how to maneuver. She learns to hit the puck, and she screams in excitement, requesting that he allow her to savor her victory before she learns how to score a goal. The following day at the bookstore, Janet shares a fun idea she has that will be fantastic for the 40th anniversary. She suggests they do a live version of the podcast. Adam thinks it will be fun, which is contrary to Mary's opinion. Tyler and Janet find out that a lot more has been going on between the two than they are aware of, so they stylishly walk away while they are engrossed in talking about Mary's hockey experience the previous night. Later, Mary and Adam grab a huge box. They decide to make a raft or sled with it if they intend on winning this adventure. Janet comes to wish them luck, and she gushes over their sled, which looks super amazing. He notices the worrisome look on her face, so he suggests they quit if she's scared, but she insists she is just fine. While they wait for the race to start, Adam engages her in a conversation about her aspirations for the future. Noah spots them from afar, so he comes running to inform Adam that he's becoming better at practicing the shot Adam taught him. He admires their sled. Unfortunately, his mother didn't have enough time to make one for them, so he won't be participating. Adam suggests he join them and help Mary, who is scared of riding down the icy hills. Noah loves the idea, and he agrees to ride with them. Everyone, including Paul and his wife, is in attendance. The game soon starts and Mary's team ends up winning, even though they encounter a small fun accident. After the games, Mary walks back into town with Adam, thanking him for making the game fun for her and Noah. The next day, Janet comes giving her genius self accolades for coming up with the idea that seems to be making everyone love them. She passes the papers to Adam so he can see all the good press they've gotten. Without a doubt, he thinks Janet is doing great because Erica is starting to come around as well, and at this rate, his suspension might just be lifted soon. Tyler notices his sister isn't looking too good, so he approaches her to find out what the problem could be. Janet assures Mary to ease her worries as they will get a massive turnout, and the anniversary event will be a success. Mary can't sleep as she was worried, so she goes through the store's book. This makes her realize that if the party doesn't work out to be a huge success, they may have to close the store. Later, they all step out pasting the anniversary poster around town. Adam asks Mary why she didn't say anything to him about the store's financial situation. He feels she would have discussed things with him since they are in the situation together. Mary feels embarrassed talking about her store's financial struggles, but he assures her they will figure things out with time. He invites her to dinner later that night so they can discuss and maybe come up with an idea for the showcase. At the hockey pitch, Adam is practicing with his brother. His brother teases him for inviting Mary to dinner after saying he doesn't like her. Then, Erica approaches them and requests to have a meeting with Adam in her office. He asks to make a quick call before joining her. Adam phones Mary, who is getting set for their dinner in a few minutes, and informs her that he might be running a little late since Erica just called him for a meeting. Mary insists that they postpone the dinner to some other time since he doesn't know how long it will take. He finally meets with Erica, who wants to discuss getting him back on the team on certain conditions. It will be probationary, and if he makes one wrong move, he'll have to serve out the rest of his suspension. Also, he will have to apologize for his behavior in front of the press. Adam agrees to do everything expected of him, but he complains about the day Erica chose because it coincides with the 40th anniversary, which he cannot miss, especially since he will be anchoring the auction and signing autographs. Erica doesn't seem to care about his explanations, so she tells him to choose between the bookstore and his career. The next scene is at Mary's parents' house. She faces her meal squarely without saying many words to her family. Her father observes the awkward silence, so he probes her to know what's going on. She refuses to give much details to her parents, and her father decides to drag Tyler into the conversation. Tyler looks into Mary's eyes questioningly. Afterward, Mary decides to spill the truth about the store's situation. Her parents try to make her understand that they are aware of the situation even before they retire. They had planned to shut it down in an attempt to save her the responsibility, but Mary insists that the store is more than a responsibility, as it is her family's legacy. She has grown quite sentimental about the store, and she is not willing to give up, but then she's glad her parents aren't mad at her. Her mother assures her that they perfectly understand her situation and are solidly behind her and supports her decisions. The following day, Adam arrives at the shop and meets Paul, who informs him that Mary went to the city hall to get the permit for the Winterfest happening the following night. He needs to talk to her, so he pleads with him to tell Mary to reach him. Paul calls him back just before he can step out. He commends Adam for doing a good job with his career and helping Mary out with the bookstore especially. dragging her out of her comfort zone to have fun and experience a whole different world outside the bookstore. He smiles and acknowledges that Janet is responsible for all they have been doing lately. Adam looks like he's got a lot inside his mind and he doesn't know what to do. However, he thanks Paul and makes his way out. Later in the day, Mary meets with Adam at the hockey pitch. He reveals the situation he is in and his confusion at the moment. She suggests he choose his career and starts sounding mean just to scare him off. He understands that she's trying to get him mad, so he will walk away from the party. She tries to make him understand that he cannot pass up an opportunity for him to get back on the team because of her party. She reveals that it's time for her to succeed or fail on her own. So, she advises him to take his shot and quickly takes her leave. The anniversary party begins and Mary experiences such huge sales of books as she has made in the past 6 months. Janet commends her friend and reveals that she's trending on social media. Noah comes asking for Adam. After he leaves, Janet reveals that Adam took care of the showcase idea and he wanted to inform her himself. But since he's not here, she decides to show Mary his plan. Adam had 20,000 sashes with her bookstore logo made for the Royals' next home game, and also made her bookstore's online page the official sponsor of the fan giveaway. He made sure that the bookstore would be featured throughout the game and during its telecast. Mary is utterly speechless at his generosity because she doesn't see it coming at all. At Adam's event, he meets with his brother and Erica, who informs them that she's getting lots of positive feedback and her father is pleased. Chuck hopes that Adam, who is always found arguing with refs, is gone for good, seeing that he hasn't been found tonight. Erica invites Adam upstage to come give his speech, and while he's at it, Mary is also addressing the attendees of her event. Adam reveals to everyone that in as much as he loves the game, he has found what's also really important to him. He excuses himself and takes his leave to go get it. Erica runs after him, stating that if he leaves, her father might not forgive him, but he confesses that if he doesn't leave, he won't be able to forgive himself. Erica understands his situation, so she asks that they talk about it on Monday. He appreciates her, and before he takes his leave, finally admits that she broke up with him. While Mary is on with the book chat, Adam arrives. He gets on stage and confesses to her that it's time he starts thinking about what's next, because he's back with some incredible business ideas. Mary suggests they focus on chatting about the book, but he confesses that their story is one story he doesn't want to end. Right before everyone is present at the occasion, Adam grabs Mary and kisses her passionately.